Guys, just a quick celebration because we are on our way to 200 subscribers. So of course we are going to be grateful for every milestone that we make on this channel. I don't know why it is hard to grow on YouTube, because on TikTok the first month I was about at 100 followers. Like, I grew up real fast on TikTok, but on here it's taking time by God. But of course I'm gonna apply consistency. I'm gonna upload every Tuesday, every Thursday, every Saturday. Look forward to a new YouTube video. And if you have not subscribed, how are you helping the channel? How? I'm giving you 1 second. Can you kindly hit that subscription button if you're watching and you have not yet subscribed? How are you helping the channel if you're getting value from this channel but you are not even subscribing to anything? Because subscribing helps the channel, it helps get the channel pushed to those who need this, these values, those who need values from these videos. So if you subscribe, it's making the channel grow. So kindly hit that subscription button. Anytime I'm live, I don't know how many subscribers does one need to go live on YouTube, but I'm gonna find out after this. But if we reach the required amount of subscribers, I'm gonna go live on here. So if you subscribe, you're gonna know anytime I'm live, and when I post a new video, you'll be able to get notified. So if you're new here, my name is Mende Albert, and I use my own recovery from severe anxiety, chronic depression, severe sensitization to help others who are still struggling. If you're struggling with GAD, generalized anxiety disorder, health anxiety, social anxiety, panic disorder, OCD, agoraphobia, eating disorder, any type of anxiety disorder, really, you are in the right place. I explain how to be able to overcome anxiety disorder. So let's get it started. So in this particular video, I want to talk about blood pressure brought by anxiety. If you're struggling with high blood pressure because of anxiety, that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about why you are having high blood pressure with anxiety and how to be able to overcome that fear, because it's a fear. So how to be able to overcome the fear of high blood pressure brought by anxiety. So if that's something that you're struggling with, make sure to stay tuned up to the end of this video. So I remember really struggling real bad. It was to the real extreme with high blood pressure when I was struggling with anxiety. By the way, Moi Massive, if you are an alumni of Moi University, I'm also an alumni of Moi University. So there was a path that, in Moi University, there is a really long path, like from the classes to the main gate along the library. So I was walking in that path. Then I remember that day, I got overwhelmed with anxiety. I got overwhelmed with a high heart rate. My heart rate was beating rapidly. I couldn't walk. I got debilitated and I just knelt down. So of course I was creating attention. Everybody was just like, what is wrong with this girl? What is wrong with this girl? My heart was beating rapidly. I felt dizzy. I felt like I was gonna faint. Then I just knelt down for me to calm down. Then I stood up after some minutes there. Then I went to the hospital. When I went to the hospital, my blood pressure was taken and I was told that my blood pressure is high. It was 175 at that time. You can imagine how high that was. My blood pressure used to go high up to even 185, 195. So on that day when my blood pressure was measured, it was at 175. I got scared. I thought something is wrong with me. What if I die? What if, the kind of what if thoughts that come when you are checking your heart monitor, you're checking your blood pressure, you're checking your, with anxiety, it's always checking, something is wrong with my heart. Let me check. Let me use my heart monitor. Something is wrong with my blood pressure. What if? So I started experiencing the what if thoughts. The doctor that was there told me, can you lie there? Do you have any history of, high blood pressure in your family? Do you have any history of diabetes in your family? And I was like, no. And for me, high blood pressure is something that I knew that, people who are sick or people who are old are the people who struggle with high blood pressure. So how come I was struggling with high blood pressure? Then I slept in one of those beds in the hospital. Then I calmed down. When I calmed down, when my blood pressure was being checked again, it went back to normal. Then I was like, okay, what is wrong with me? Even the doctor was like, okay, what is wrong with you? Your blood pressure keeps on spiking. It spiked at that time. You calmed down. It went back to normal. Now, when I just saw that blood pressure machine, my blood pressure spiked. It spiked to, I don't know, it was 185 or something. It really spiked. So, of course, she gave me some medicine there to take to cool down my blood pressure, and I went back home. So from that time, everything just changed. I always want to, anytime I could anytime I could feel an elevation in my heart rate, I always wanted to check my blood pressure, because I believe that, okay, heart rate and blood pressure, they go in tandem. I had severe heart rate. Like, even the cloth that I'm wearing could be like this. I could see this rhythm in my cloth. I could feel the heart rate in my ears. I could feel them in my neck. I could feel them under my skin. It was a chronic heart rate. So of course, the next thoughts with anxiety, the physical symptoms, the emotions, they always come with thoughts. So what if it's a heart attack? What if I die? What if it's cancer? What if it's this big illnesses? And that's where, when you don't understand how anxiety works, when you don't understand anxiety, why you're having these symptoms, why the heart rate is occurring, you might take action. You might now want to control your heart every time you're with your heart monitor, every time you're checking your high blood pressure, every time you're going to the hospitals, because you need to find out what is wrong with your heart. That's, of course, when you're having a high heart rate, the diligent thing that someone is going to do is get into the car and go to the hospital. When you go to the hospital, every test is being done. That's what happened to me. Every test was being done, ECG, echo, the pictures of my heart were being taken, but every time the doctor would say, I'm healthy, my heart is healthy, my heart is beating fine. But when I went back home, my heart started beating randomly. And let me tell you something, no matter the kind of reassurance you seek from the doctors, you will never be satisfied. Anxiety is about certainty. Anxiety wants you to seek certainty, and you will never be certain about anything in this life. Everyone in this life is just living. Me, I don't know what's gonna happen in the next 10 hours. I don't know what's gonna happen in the next 5 minutes. I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. But we're just living. But with anxiety, it always wants you to control. It wants you to control your heart. It wants you to control your high blood pressure. And the moment you're trying to control these things, the moment you are checking your high blood pressure, the moment you're checking your weight, weight is also part of this checking. The moment you're checking your heart monitor, if you even want to walk with this heart monitor, because you believe that if you lose control, something bad is going to happen to you. And the moment you're doing all those things, imagine you're working too hard, the moment you're doing all these things, the moment you're getting deeper into the anxiety cycle. When someone experiences a panic attack, their heart is going to start beating rapidly. They think that they're going to die. So from that time, everything just changes. You always want to control your heart, because the kind of heart palpitations that anxiety brings, it's not just normal. It's scary. It's scary. You might think, okay, what next? So from that time, you always want to focus on your heart. What is this? What if it's something else? Should I check my, should I use my heart monitor? Should I check my heart rate every time? Should I check my blood pressure? And that's the time you're sinking deep into the anxiety cycle. So you are in a loop. You are in a disordered cycle of anxiety. You are a disordered loop. Because let me explain to you what happens. Anxiety is caused by stress. Someone struggling with anxiety is constantly under stress. So when you are constantly under stress, your body is flooded with stress hormones, the adrenaline, the cortisol, and this makes your blood pressure to be high. So the moment you always want to check your blood pressure, by the time you're checking your blood pressure will be always high, because you are always under stress. Anxiety causes a spike in blood pressure. Anxiety does not cause a permanent blood pressure condition. Anxiety causes, I'm going to repeat this, anxiety causes a spike in blood pressure. It does not cause a permanent blood pressure condition. So if you're here and you're taking, by the time you're going to the doctors every time, they are even tired of seeing you. Say they end up giving you the blood pressure meds, because even them, they want their meds to be sold. They end up giving you the blood pressure meds. So you're taking meds that you're not supposed to take. Anxiety only causes a spike. It elevates because you are constantly under stress, but it does not cause a permanent blood pressure condition. And also, let me tell you something about going to the doctors every time. Every time you go to the doctors, they will be confirming your fears. Not every time. Anxiety is a thinking disorder. So for you to be able to get diagnosed that, okay, you're struggling with anxiety, it has to be with a psychiatrist or a psychologist. So every time you go, you are visiting new hospitals, this hospital, your blood pressure is always high. The doctor is confirming your fears, and they'll tell you, like, you're struggling with, the blood pressure condition, you're struggling with this. I was told I was struggling with anemia, but in reality, you are always under stress. And someone under stress, their fight or flight response is activated. So when your fight or flight response is activated, your blood pressure is gonna go high. So now when you go to the hospital, you explain, I'm feeling like they check your blood pressure, they're gonna find that your blood pressure is always high because you're always under stress. So that's why your blood pressure is always high. Let me explain to you how the disordered loop of anxiety works. Of course, you're always under stress, so that means your anxiety is always high. Your heart rate is, elevated. So you go and check your blood pressure. You find that your blood pressure is high because already you are under this stress. So your blood pressure is going to be high. More stress, more anxiety, your blood pressure shoots up. When it shoots up, more anxiety. So are you seeing this disordered loop? More anxiety, more stress, high blood pressure, high anxiety. A loop. The disordered loop of anxiety. So I'm going to explain to you how to stop this disordered loop, because one thing that I realized with anxiety is that when I was constantly stressed, that's when my blood pressure used to be high. But when I was not even thinking about anxiety, when I was busy with other things, with school, with exams, when I was doing my life, my blood pressure was always standard. It was always normal. It was always, so this means that this stress, this worry was the one that was spiking my blood pressure. And when you keep on checking, by the time you are checking, you are worried, you are under stress. So that means the results are not going to disappoint you. You're going to get that high blood pressure that you are afraid of. So the thing is to get rid of your heart monitor. Get rid of your Apple Watch. Get rid of the weight machines. You can't control everything. You can't control your heart if it's going to be high. you can't control your blood pressure if you're not controlling it. You think you're controlling something by working with those heart monitors, by checking your blood pressure all the time, while in reality you're sinking deep. You're sinking deep because you are always worrying about your blood pressure, because the time you are checking, you are always under stress. So your blood pressure is always gonna be high. But when you don't care, when your blood pressure, that's how me, I don't know even how it healed. When I go to hospital, maybe I'm sick of malaria or something, my blood pressure is always standard. Me, the high blood pressure just went away when I didn't care when it was high or when it was substandard or when it was low, because I knew that stress is gonna elevate my blood pressure. Stress is gonna spike my blood pressure. So there was no need for me to check. I knew it was always high. So when I didn't care, my stress went down. When you don't care, the stress levels went down. And when the stress levels go down, your blood pressure is back to normal. One thing that I want to tell you guys about anxiety is when you are experiencing intense anxiety, logic is thrown out of the window. Even if I reassure you how many times that, you know, your health is healthy, your heart is beating just fine, there's nothing wrong with your heart, the moment that heart palpitations start coming, the moment you feel it intensely, you're gonna pick up your heart monitor. You're gonna start seeking reassurance. Like, you're gonna go to the hospitals. When you start seeking reassurance, of course, you're gonna use everything and anything to seek reassurance. Maybe it's me, you are constantly asking me, like, is there something wrong when my heart is beating so rapidly? Like, I feel like something is... That's the first warning that I always give to my clients. Reassurance keeps you stuck in the anxiety cycle. I've said earlier, anxiety wants certainty, and you'll never get certainty from anxiety. You'll keep on asking, my heart, my heart, my heart. When I get my clients in a group call or in one-on-one calls, if you ask me the first time about your heart, I answer. The second time, the third, now the fourth time, that one now becomes blatant reassurance seeking, because now you are afraid. You are using me as a form of reassurance seeking. When maybe I say no, you are using your heart monitor, you go to the doctors. Anxiety thrives on reassurance seeking, and you will never seek certainty with anxiety. I can be telling you nothing is wrong with your heart, but the moment that heart palpitation comes, you are taking action. You are going to the hospital, you are using a heart monitor, you are using Google, you are doing everything, using anything and everything to try and seek reassurance. And reassurance is one of the surest ways to stay stuck in the anxiety cycle. And I'm not saying this is an easy fear for you to brush out, that anytime you find like, okay, what if it's this, what if it's a heart attack, what if it's cancer, what if it's this big illness, that fear is gonna be there. Those thoughts are gonna come. But reassure yourself internally that the doctors already, the doctors know their job. If there would have been something wrong with you, they would have found out by now. So reassure yourself internally that, of course, there is nothing wrong with me. The urge is gonna come. Can you check? Can you use your heart monitor? Can you seek reassurance? But reassure yourself internally that nothing is wrong with me. This is just, you know, this is anxiety causing my blood pressure to spike, causing my high heart rate, and, you know, I don't have to do anything about it. I just have to relax. I have to, you know, let go and be able to show the subconscious part of my brain that really I'm going on with my day. This is not a threat. Because if you show your brain that this is, you know, a stress, the heart palpitations are stressing you, they are a threat, the high blood pressure is, you know, stressing you, then it's going to release more of the stress hormones, and the result of the more stress hormones is the high heart rate, the high blood pressure. So you'll be stuck in the disordered loop of anxiety. So I wanted to reassure you in this video that anxiety does not cause a permanent blood pressure condition. Anxiety only elevates, it only spikes your blood pressure. So if that's something that you're always worried about, your blood pressure, always worried about, you know, the high heart rate, just know that it is anxiety, and your reassurance, you're doing something about it. It's what is keeping you stuck. You're showing the brain that this is a threat, and therefore it keeps you, it gets you into the survival mode. And if you are in the survival mode, there is no logic. Your brain does not understand. Even if you tell it that, okay, this is anxiety, this is not, it keeps on knocking with those thoughts. What if, take action, blah, 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 blah. And if you don't understand what is happening, you're going to take action, and that's how you're going to still stay stuck in the disordered loop of anxiety. So if you've watched this video up to this point, make sure to share, like, comment, and subscribe to this channel if you get value. So yeah, let's meet on the next video. Bye.